Hello, Zachary. That sounds like music from past times.
Yes, it was written by Robert de Vise, a 17th century French composer, and he was engaged to compose for the courts of the kings Louis XIV and XV.
And is it still being performed today?
Yes, it is, by professionals and amateurs. Recently, there's been renewed interest in early music, especially on performances which would be given on original instruments or representations of them.
And was the guitar of that time different from the present day instrument?
It was. During the last half century, our last half century, the guitar has changed a great deal, and so has its playing styles, from various sources and expanding in different musical directions.
Is that guitar an original?
No, it isn't. I was commissioned by Early Music Direct to research and design an instrument based on one by Antonio Stradivari. I had the good fortune to be permitted to examine one in the Hill collection in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford.
Would I recognise it as a Stradivarius? Is it a faithful copy?
Well, you'd recognise it as a Stradivarius if you looked at photographs of the ones in the Ashmolean and compared it with this. But faithful? No. I mean, there are several features of my design, which is this, they were changed in the light of achieving comfortable playability and structural improvement. Now, for example, the string length of the original was 740 millimeters, which is considerably longer than this, which is 666. Now, that means the original would have had much wider stretches necessary because of the longer string. So that means that it would not be comfortable to play. So that was why I shortened it to 666. And the whole instrument is a small percentage smaller to compensate for that. And of course, it's quite likely that the original, with a longer string length, and it's regarded by some as a baritone instrument that would be used for continuo.
And what did you do to change that then?
Well, the reduction in the string length and the overall size was to bring it to the similarity of a modern classical guitar. The term classical, of course, is a convenient term, really.
Well, did it compare in all other ways with the original?
Well, as was usual with instruments of that time, the Baroque guitar had double strings, like the lute or the mandolin, for example, and it had 5 double string, or 5 courses, we call them. And I designed this with 6 strings to make it readily accessible to the current players of the classical guitar. Of course, it doesn't mean that you can't play earlier music on it, as we do quite frequently.
Did you make this guitar?
Not this one, no. I have made a great many, but I don't make instruments these days. One of my important concerns, having designed an instrument, is to find, on behalf of my clients, an appropriate workshop with the capacity and facility to produce faithfully, swiftly, and economically enough to enter into a commercial undertaking. Special skills are needed, combined with careful selection of materials and constructional precision to ensure flawless quality, which this has, flawless quality. It is quite astounding, in fact, and you consider this is made with human hands. It has great precision.
And you knew of such a workshop?
Well, yes, I was fortunate. I turned to my old friend, Bruce Way, in Vietnam, who had many times in the past produced excellent examples of guitars to my designs. On this occasion, I presented them with several new projects, including the Stradivarius in the 5-course and 6-course versions. So both types are produced. plus two other instruments too, one by Giorgio Sellas and another by René Lecotte, again to my designs.
And presumably, the project necessitated a visit to Vietnam.
Yes, indeed. I was glad to go again. I've been several times, and this time I undertook the supervision of the production during this visit to this small factory on the banks of the Saigon River, where the dedicated team of craftsmen create the guitars with meticulous accuracy and superb finish.
And are you really pleased with the results?
Yes, I am. The instrument delights me. It's wonderful to feel that you have a connection with the great Stradivarius, or one should say Stradivari. The instrument is a Stradivarius. With the great Stradivari, who's got to be one of the best-known names on the globe for lutherie. And I might add that Early Music Direct are just as excited as I am about the guitars and will be making them available very shortly.
Well, I think we should like to hear it again. Will you play it for us?
With pleasure.